Everyone thinks market crashes happen because of bad numbers. They're wrong. In 1895, a French sociologist named Gustave Le Bon published a book that would explain centuries of financial chaos without mentioning a single stock price. His theory was simple and terrifying. When people gather in crowds, their individual judgment doesn't add up. It vanishes, and that's precisely what happens during a financial mania, except the crowd isn't in a stadium. It's spread across a nation, all watching the same asset, all feeling the same fear or greed at once. Exhibit 1: The Dutch Tulip Mania of 1637. A virus made certain tulip bulbs produce striped, flame-like petals. They were rare. Then traders began bidding on bulbs that hadn't even bloomed yet, bulbs that might never exist. Prices climbed 10 times in months. Rational, no, but each trader watched others getting rich and thought, if everyone else sees value, maybe I'm the fool for not buying. Le Bon called this the contagion of sentiment. In a crowd, emotion spreads faster than reason. One person's panic becomes everyone's panic. One person's euphoria becomes collective delusion. The crowd doesn't think, it feels. And when thousands feel the same way simultaneously, they move markets as if guided by a single mind. Exhibit 2: The dot-com bubble of the late 1990s. Companies with no revenue and no clear path to profit traded for billions. Why? Because the crowd believed the internet changed everything, and belief in a crowd becomes fact. Investors who questioned the valuations weren't heroes, they were lonely. The pressure to join the consensus was immense. Le Bon identified a third force, the illusion of anonymity within the crowd. When you're one of thousands, you feel less responsible for your choices. You're not John the accountant anymore, you're part of the herd. That anonymity dissolves individual conscience. It's why crowds do things individuals never would. Exhibit 3: The 2008 financial crisis. Banks held mortgages on homes that were clearly overvalued, but everyone else was doing it. The crowd of investors, bankers, and borrowers all reinforced the same delusion: housing prices only go up. When the first cracks appeared, the crowd's certainty evaporated instantly. Panic replaced euphoria, the stampede reversed. Le Bon's insight wasn't that crowds are irrational, it's that crowds operate by different rules than individuals. They're suggestible, they're emotional, they're driven by repetition and authority. Once a narrative takes hold, contradicting evidence barely registers. The crowd has already decided. So that's why manias happen, not because markets are broken, but because humans in crowds think differently than humans alone. Understanding Le Bon doesn't protect you from the next mania. Crowds are part of how markets function. But recognizing the pattern, seeing how sentiment spreads and consensus forms, is the first step toward understanding why bubbles happen, how they inflate, and what happens when the crowd finally changes its mind. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe for deep dives into the manias that built and broke our financial world. Subscribe for deep dives into the manias that built and broke our financial world. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.